NIO was 6,800 insurance registrations. That's for the week of June 24th through the 30th. The last full week in June was a big one, the biggest single week number we've ever seen from NIO, in fact. Now, when we look back at May, I actually want to point this out. These 2 weeks early on in May, the 4,400 back-to-back weeks, were really good numbers early on in the month. And that set things up for what was at that time a new monthly record. But then June, NIO was able to come in with the new monthly record, partly because this carryover week, the 6,700, was both in May and June. So even though the June kind of mid numbers looked a little weaker, 3,400, 3,500 versus or compared to the 4,400 back-to-back in May, NIO with that full 6,800 coming in the last week of June, that really pushed them over the top. So moving forward, especially in July and August, what I'll be watching for and very curious about is if we'll see 4,400 type of numbers early on in the month. I think if or when we see that, it's going to be an indicator that yes, NIO is doing more of the double shift capacity. And I do think we'll see it eventually, especially with Onvo and the release of the L60, the sub-brand by NIO, and those deliveries starting in September. But until then, July and August, those are the months I'm really curious to track. How about this? I wanted to highlight this because we did get some new data reported on the FTDs. The FTDs are the white lines, and the spike here, this basically represents when shares couldn't be located. And so they may not have even been real shares at all, and they could have contributed negatively to stock price action for NIO. Why does this matter? Well, I was just curious when I recognized that this last part, the most recent trading history for NIO, has had an equal or greater number of fails to deliver than early on when NIO was a brand new listing. And to those who say, well, there are more NIO shares out there, that is correct. However, there are also triple leveraged short plays that go on in Europe that were not there early on. And so I do think that these things are contributing to and maybe suppressing or keeping NIO from taking off. I'll talk more about this in a future video. That's something I shared actually, and I went even more in depth on it, highlighting and sharing some things that I wasn't even aware of in the video, the exclusive that I did for channel members. And that's something that eventually I'll probably share that with the rest of the community. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.